Hello Year 11, welcome to the lesson for today, the 21st of January. We're carrying on with standard form today, but we're looking at multiplying and dividing when using standard form. So if you can pause the video and write the date and title in your book. So I've got two examples on the page there. We've got 2 times 10 to the power of 2 multiplied by 4 times 10 to the power of 4. Now when we're multiplying with standard form, we've obviously got our two numbers on their own here, and then we've got our powers of 10 here. And because we can just multiply any of these in whichever order we like, we can actually multiply the 2 and the 4 together. So that gives us 8. We then need to think about multiplying the 10 to the power of 2 by 10 to the power of 4. Now if you remember our work on index laws, we know that if we have something to the power of something multiplied by something to the power of something, again we add the indices. Okay, so we can say that the 2 times the 4 equals the 8 times 10 to the power of 2 plus 4 is 6. Okay, now we can check that this is in standard form. Our number here is greater than or equal to 1 but less than 10, and we've got times 10 to the power of something here. Looking at the second example, we've got 3 times 10 to the power of 3 multiplied by 4 times 10 to the power of 5. So again, I'm going to multiply my 3 and my 4 together. That gives me 12. Then I've got to think about the powers of 10, so times 10. I've got 10 to the power of 3 multiplied by 10 to the power of 5. As I'm multiplying, I'm going to add the indices, so 3 plus 5 gives me 8. So I've got 12 times 10 to the power of 8. Now, you might have already spotted that this 12 does not satisfy the rules of standard form because that number needs to be less than 10. So, like we did yesterday, to get this number less than 10, I need to divide by 10 to get 1.2. So if I'm dividing this part of the number by 10, I need to multiply this side of the number by 10 to compensate for that. So if I'm multiplying by another power of 10, that's obviously going to change to times 10 to the power of 9, because I'm going to be multiplying by 10 9 times rather than 8 times. Okay, we've got another 3 examples to have a look at here. You'll notice that the first one there has got a negative indice here. Okay, but we're still going to treat this in exactly the same way. So I've got 4 times 10 to the power of negative 4 multiplied by 6 times 10 to the power of 5. So again, I'm going to take the two numbers that I've got here, 4 times 6, that is going to give me 24, times 10, and now I need to work out what my power of 10 is. Well, I've got minus 4 here and 5 here. As I'm multiplying, I'm going to add the indices together. So minus 4 plus 5 gives me 1. Again, you might notice that that 24 needs to be a number less than 10. So in order to make it less than 10, I'm going to divide it by 10 to get 2.4. So if I'm dividing this part by 10, I need to multiply this part by 10. I'm already multiplying it by 10 one time, so I need to multiply it by 10 2 times. Second example we've got here, we've got 2 negative indices. Again, the same rules apply. So I've got 2 times the 4 here, that's going to give me 8, times 10, and then I've got negative 9 and negative 3. So I'm going to have negative 9 plus negative 3 because I'm multiplying, so I'm going to add the indices. But when we have negative 9 plus negative 3, I'm still going to subtract the 3 from the negative 9. So negative 9 subtract 3 is going to give me negative 12. This time I don't have to do anything because this one already satisfies the rules for standard form. This number's below 10, we've got times 10 to the power of something. My third example, we've got 3 times 10 to the power of negative 7 multiplied by 4 times 10 to the power of negative 6. So 3 times 4 is 12, times 10, and I've got negative 7 add negative 6, which is going to give me negative 30. I need to make sure that this is below 10, so I'm going to divide by 10 to get 1.2. So if I'm dividing this side by 10, I need to multiply this side by 10. So thinking about the negative numbers here, that's going to be negative 12. So the last example we're going to have a look at with multiplying in standard form is the example on the screen now. We've got 2.34 times 10 to the power of 3 multiplied by 1.66 times 10 to the power of 4. So we've got some decimal numbers here, but we're going to use the same method that we have done already, but we're going to need to use a calculator. So we're still going to multiply the 2.34 by the 1.6. So I do that on the calculator. I'm going to get 3.8844, and then I'm just going to use the same method with my powers. I've got 10 to the power 3 multiplied by 10 to the power of 4, so I'm going to add the indices to give times 10 to the power of 7. I'm just going to show you something else on the calculator. So if you've got a calculator like this or similar, and this is our power of 10 button down here. Okay, so if for example I wanted to check this answer here, I could do 2.34 times 10 to the power of 3. So just by pressing this standard form button down here, the power button, that puts it up into the calculator there. Okay, multiplied by 1.66 times 10 to the power of 4. And that's given me that answer there, which is 3.8844 times 10 to the power of 7. So I'm just going to check that the answer that we got on the calculator matches our answer that we'd worked out here. So here we had 3.8844, so my decimal point was there, and I'm timesing by 10 once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times. So I know that that's the correct answer. Okay, we're now going to look at some examples where we're dividing using standard form. So we've got 8 times 10 to the power of 4 divided by 4 times 10 to the power of 2. And it's a similar method to the multiplication. We're going to take the two numbers that we can divide, 8 divided by 4, and that's going to give us 2. And then we're going to have times 10. And this time, because we're dividing, okay, and think back to our index laws, when we're dividing by powers, we subtract the indices, okay? And it's going to be the first number subtract the second number, because it's this side divided by this side. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. So my final answer is going to be 2 times 10 to the power of 2. With the second example there, we've got 6 times 10 to the power of 8 divided by 3 times 10 to the power of 10. So I'm going to do the 6 divided by the 3 first. That's also going to give me 2. And then I've got my power here is 8, subtract the power here is 10. Okay, so I've got multiplied by 10, and 8 subtract 10 is going to give me a minus number, but that's okay, we know we can have negative indices. So my answer is 2 times 10 to the power of negative 2. Okay, 2 more examples, and you'll notice we've got negative indices in the actual calculation here as well. So same process. The 8 divided by the 2 is going to give me 4 times 10, and this time I've got a negative power here, so minus 4, take away 3. Okay, so that's going to give me negative 7. Then with the second example, I've got 9 divided by the 3, that's going to give me 3, times 10, and this time I've got negative 6 and negative 4. So I'm going to have negative 6, subtract negative 4. So when we think about this, we've got negative 6, subtract negative 4. Okay? And when we're subtracting a negative number, what actually happens is we end up adding the two numbers together. So we've got negative 6 plus 4. Now negative 6 plus 4 is going to give me negative 2. Now the last example I'm going to show you with division is actually taken from the Maths Watch exam, paper 2, that you completed last week. It's question 27, and it's 5.32 times 10 to the power of negative 7 divided by 2.5 times 10 to the power of negative 5. So following the methods that we have done so far, we are going to do 5.32 divided by 2.5. Now this was on your calculator paper, so you can do that bit on your calculator, because it is a decimal as a fraction, so I'll convert that to a decimal, and it's 2.128. I'll just put my answer down here. Okay, times 10, and now I need to work out what my power is. I've got negative 7, take away, because I'm dividing, negative 5. So again, I've got negative 7, take away negative 5. So that means I'm going to have negative 7 plus 5, which is going to equal negative 2. So my power up here is negative 2. Just check again that this number is between greater than or equal to 1 and less than 10, which it is. So I can just leave that as the answer. So what I'd like you to do now is to try these practice questions on multiplying and dividing. They're also added on Go for Schools as a Word document too, so you don't have to view them on the screen here. So have a go at these, and if you're not on the Teams call, then if you can take a photo of your work and upload it to the assignment on Teams. If you are on the Teams call, then we'll go through the answers once you've had a chance to have a go at these. What I've also loaded up onto Go for Schools for you is some standard form exam style questions from the Corbett Maths website, and these will look at exam style questions on the standard form work you did yesterday for the lesson on Wednesday, and for all the things you've done today on multiplying and dividing. If you have any questions, then please do email me or ask them on the Teams call. Okay, thank you, bye bye.